Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Most definitely going to get on here and say, so today I went walking down the street late night. It was about 11 o'clock, and I was on the phone with somebody, and I walked down. I went to go down to the store and grab something. Now, normally I don't walk late, right? But I was like, I got to go down here and do this because I got to go to work, right? And I didn't want to be rushing to work and doing this and trying to stop here and trying to stop there. I already do meet, might go get me some food or something before work. I got my food set up, so I need to do that. I want to go do this, but I got somewhere else I want to stop at, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to work. And so I walked down here, and as I'm walking down to the store, I'm on my way to the gas station, right? As I'm walking down there, now I used to have this red Hyundai Accent. It's a guy in a red Hyundai Accent, and he drives past. Now, the car looked like my car, my old car. And so it made me pay attention. I'm like, damn, that's like my old car. I'm walking my dog with me, right? And I look, turn around. Something said stop, turn around, look back at the car. I'm like, let me make sure that's a red Hyundai Accent. So the person in the car hit a U-turn in the middle of the street and turns back around. The next time they turn around, they sticking their neck up and their head up, looking all out the car, right, looking at me. It was targeted, and it's a person who knew who I was, but I didn't know them, right? You know when somebody sends somebody towards you because of the interaction, it's not a normal interaction, or somebody just trying to get a peek at you, or like, oh, damn, she might look nice, or whatever it was targeted. And this is how you know that other people will be involved, because when you say something about it, they be so mad at you catching on and saying something about it that they will completely disregard what you saying or trying to get you to stop or shut up from talking about what's going on. 2 people did that to me to try to stop me from talking about what I seen that was happening. And so anyways, I continued to walk down to this gas station. The person's so stupid that they drive down to the gas station and turn around. Now, mind you, it's cameras at the gas station. So you got to, in my mind, I'm like, you got to be a bold mother. Shut your mouth to go somewhere where there's cameras to do a U-turn at, to turn back around, right? And what I'm looking at is human trafficking. This is something dealing with human trafficking, and I knew that. This person wished they could snatch me, but they didn't know that I was going to let them up out of here. And so anyways, I got down to the gas station where I was going to. The individual, now these 2 people in the store, they always see me, right? Throughout the day, normally. And so, just so happened, they normally be closed at this time. They was open. And so, normally, you go up to the gas station or whatever, a store, and they are close the outside, close the inside up, but you can still go to like the little window and box, and they'll give you what you need, and you go on about your business, right? This time, the gas station was still open. So when I went to go to the window, the guy walked out of the gas station. He said, oh, no, they still open. So I'm like, damn, they still open? He said, yeah, that's what I thought to myself. And so once I got inside of there, I ain't thinking nothing. I'm on the phone with somebody. I asked for what I asked for, and I was going to just keep scurrying on and going about my business. I ain't thinking nothing because these 2 guys know me. They see me all the time. They always speak, hello, how you doing, right? They always say the freaks come out at night. You know people true heart at nighttime. And so it's something about the principalities that just hop into people that is operating in this type of movement. And so anyways, and these 2 Arab guys, right? And so when I walk in, the guys say, oh, what are you doing outside? You know it's not safe. And I said, what? Now, what was throwing me off is that what would make you say something like that? How you didn't know if I drove down here? How you didn't know if you know what I'm saying? What made you just say something like that out your mouth? Right then and there, I was on the phone with somebody. That person that I was on the phone with hung up the phone. So you know something not right with that as well. And so I said, what the hell going on? So he asked me, he said, you got something on you like that? And I said, yeah, I got my CCWs. And if a mother effer try it, I'm going to blow their ass away. And I started to pray in the gas station. I said, forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they do. I'm going to lift them out of here. You, and you. That man was so scared they shut the store down, right? Because in my mind, I'm Xena, the warrior, right? Because don't play with me. Don't play with me. This has to be talked about. Right then and there, what God showed me is that your local people at these gas stations and corner stores, they're in the involvement of some nefarious things, in the involvement of the human moving around. And the reason what made me say that is because I'm trying to figure out what made this man that comfortable to do a U-turn in their parking lot, right? Out of all the U-turns that this man did, he did it discreetly to where he thought wasn't any cameras at, right? But he felt comfortable enough to turn around in the parking lot where cameras are stationed at. You understand me? And so I said, what the hell? Like, if there's something, they try something, they got to give up them cameras. And something said they're not going to give up anything because they are involved. They're involved. And so that was my mind state even before I even got to the gas station and I seen this man do a U-turn in the parking lot. And even though I was talking on the phone with somebody, my mind was running 50 miles per hour. I don't fear nothing. I don't fear no one. You understand? And so while I'm talking to this person on the phone, my mind is going, and I said, oh, he feels so comfortable to turn around. I said, what would make him feel that comfortable in my mind? What would make him feel that comfortable to do a U-turn in a parking lot? And then when I get down there, this man says that out of his mouth to me about, it's not safe out here. Who is you talking to? It ain't safe for you. It ain't safe for y'all. What is you talking about? It's safe for me. It ain't safe for you. You, not me. And when I said that man, when he said to me, it's not safe for you out here, he had the most cunning, evilest look that I ever seen in a human being's face. I seen a principality jump in his body. That's what I seen. I seen evil itself. That's what I seen. When that man said that to me, it wasn't coming from a place of concern. It was not coming from a place of genuine concern, like, or just telling me like, hey, you need what's going on? What you doing down? I don't think that what is going. No, it was a operation going on, and it's like I can't have you getting caught in the midst of this. You almost got took, but because I know you come here so much, you lucky. Type of thing. You lucky. But he wasn't expecting for me to say what I said out of my mouth next. Nah. I said, everybody else. He said something about safety. No. I said, they're not safe from me and God. I seen that man's spirit jump. And whatever principality that was sitting in his temple jumped out of him. He became back himself. And now he was in a state of concern. Like, what did you just say? I said, they're not safe from me and God. He said, what, you got something to carry? You got to carry something. You got something. I said, I got more than something on me. I got I got that thing, that piece of steel. May peace be with you. And I got the Most High God with me. That's who I got. And I went on ahead and took off walking right back out of the store. And the guy said to me, they was about to do a shift change, and I'm trying to gather my things. And the guy says, he was mad. Now, this is one of their regular workers, but you got to think, he's involved in it as well. He's the third shift guy. He's involved in it as well. And normally when I go down there, he's normally a cool guy. Like, he'll be like, oh, like one time I went to get something. He was like, don't worry about the change in that, right? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the change. But he tried to act like he didn't remember me. He said something stick out his mouth, but he didn't like the strength that came from me. He didn't like the confidence that came from me. They was expecting for me to be surrounded by the men in the store and whatever this thing was going on outside of me, outside of the store. He thought I was going to be scared and, oh, well, what's happening? And no, lock me in here and see who survived. Because he said, I got to lock the door. Like, he got mad. I got to lock. He said, oh, I got to lock the door like that. And I said, what you talking about? You got to lock the door. Oh, I got to lock the door and you're still in here, something like that. And I said, I turned around, looked at him. I said, and I got to stand here and make sure I'm together before I leave out of here, too. But he wasn't expecting for me to come that way, neither. And I said, and so y'all got to wait. He seen me digging in my book bag, didn't know that everybody was about to go. He seen it. He changed his whole beat to his tune. He said, oh, no, you're fine. You're good. But God showed me something right then and there when he lied and said that out of his mouth. They thought I was going to be fearful with them 3 men in the store, which is the owner's 2 family members. I think one of them is son and the other one, they might both be his son, but I think somebody told me that one is the son and then one is the cousin or something like that. And then this other guy looked like he's related to them as well. But when he said that, oh, you taking all day, I got to lock the door type of thing, somebody walked up to the door and tried to open up the door as soon as he said it out of his mouth, and I caught him in a lie. He had already locked the door, but they had got scared because they turned around, and I said, no, I said, I'm going to pray for anybody who try it. I said in the store, I said, God, forgive them for they not know what they do. And it dropped. They whole spirit shook down. It shook down. You understand me? I said, forgive them, God, for they not know what they do. Forgive them, God, for they not know what they do. They was going to drop in that store. It was going to be something supernatural. Hit the lights. It was going to be Zena, okay? Hit the lights. I'm going to light y'all up in here. You don't place fear in me. They were trying to place fear in me with that man who felt that comfortable following me and hitting U-turns, U's in the street, in my face, and it looked like what to be in my old car, like being taunting towards me. We've been following you, be sniffing your panties in the dark. We've been coming to your home, but you don't put fear off of me. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go. But one thing I'm not going to do is walk in fear. Forgive them. Forgive them. Because even if I die or be here, regardless of the fact, you going to deal with the consequence. I bet you won't touch nobody else. Even if I go up off of here, I'm going to be on your back in spirit. You won't touch another woman, a kid in your life. I know what I've seen. And for the person on the phone with me to hear what was going on and to hung up this man, they're involved too. They're all taking these deals, family or no family. Just like the person I was in the home with, I said something to them. Oh, they weren't about to snatch you. They probably thought this. They probably thought that. They're involved. Hatred in their hearts and their minds, their bodies and their souls. And they be mad because you see through them. I said, forgive them, Lord, for they not know what they do. They were so scared. The man got mad because I said it out my mouth. That man bagged up and stopped working the register. They shut the whole store down when I left. Forgive them. Y'all, I'm going to say this, and I don't walk in no fear. Keep y'all kids. If y'all got alleyways and y'all back and they been watching me. Today I was up on my balcony. I got a banister because this is upstairs, right? And then I got a downstairs part. I was up on my banister today, and as I'm up there, I'm on the phone with somebody talking, and somebody came through the alleyway and tinted windows. They got these tinted windows, right? And okay, I'm off of a main street. I'm on this side of the street. You got you got the street, but I'm off a busy street now. You got to cross the street. When you go across the street on this busy street, it's an alleyway back there. They went across the street. They didn't go down my alleyway. They went across the street alleyway. You want to know why? Because I don't go back there on that back porch. I be up here in the front part. And so they going across there trying to look at me in these windows with these tinted windows thinking I ain't paying attention. And the same person I was on the phone with, and this is how God showed me that this person was involved as well. Because I said, damn, I'm talking, right? And I said, damn, they said that because people be going all down these alleyways and something, right? And as soon as they said it, the person went down my alleyway with tinted windows, and right then and there, something snapped in my mind. And I said, damn, that's crazy you said that, because somebody is going down my alleyway right now with tinted windows. Like, huh? Oh, you ain't even got to mention that, because I know I see it all over here. But something in my spirit said that person is involved. And when I went walking and I heard what I heard, and that person hung up that phone, I know what's going on, but I don't want to hear what's going on. I don't want to be in that part of it. I know what I signed the deal for. I know what I did, but I don't want to be involved for what's about to happen to you. Ain't nothing going to happen to me in the name of Jesus. God will flood this whole city. Y'all all die. People who got alleyways, stop letting y'all kids, if y'all ain't got like a whole fence up there and y'all just got a small fence and somebody can go down y'all alleyway and see up into your yard in the back of your house, stop letting y'all babies go out in them backyards and play, because nigga, they own it out here. They doing it. I'm telling you. And in this little city I'm from, man, I remember we was kids. We used to walk to the libraries by ourselves. Man, I used to be everywhere all over the city by myself walking. We ain't never had to worry about this. But see, the people in the city so low vibrational that they are attracting this negative energy here. I went in Walmart. People follow me in Walmart. Dude came up in Walmart one night. It was this girl who was doing my hair, y'all. I got so many stories and I got videos on this, and I did not post the videos, and I'm mad that I didn't. I still got them in my phone though. But I went to Walmart one night. It was a girl doing my hair, and being her real cool, she an OG. She was doing my little box braid bob, and she kept saying she wanted to go to the dollar store, but she had got done my hair so late. She was like, dang, we missed the store. I said, forget it, I'm gonna take you to Walmart. Man, I went in Walmart. It was people following me through the Walmart. A dude walked up to me and he was like, hey, I ain't from here. I'm just trying to figure out what a meat section is and something, right? And I'm like, huh? But when you look up, the guy, if you look up, you can see the sign that says meat. So he wasn't looking for that. He said all Walmart's the same everywhere and something. And he had a girl with him. They got the women with them that's involved in the shit too, to make you feel comfortable enough to put your guards down and let them close enough to do something to you. You understand? Man, I don't feel like going off into all of that, but the people in Walmart was involved too, because I went and got somebody. I said, hey, X, Y, and Z going on. And thank God one of the floor workers, he wasn't there super long, but he said, he walked up to me and he said, who was that to that? Who was they? Who did they say that they was to each other? And I said, what you mean? Who was you? Because I thought it was just a regular person that overheard me talking and came and asked me questions, but come to find out he was an actual floor worker. Like, you would see if you stealing stuff and all this stuff. But he said, who was they to each other? What was their relationship to each other? I said, they said that they was husband and wife. And I said, the girl tried to come up to me and talk to me and say, girl, you know that ain't my husband, because he was so embarrassing and so intrusive in his actions that she like, dude, you doing too much. You gonna get us caught type of thing. So she tried to come up to us and do that, you feel me, girl, type of shit. Girl, that ain't my husband. He embarrassing. I told the nigga go back to his baby mama, girl, da. You feel me? I said, nah. My OG said, man, get the fuck out of our face. We don't give a fuck about none of that. She said, come on, Moo. Do you know the dude was so intrusive that he followed us down the aisleways? Something told me when I went down the last aisleway where the freezer section was, something said take your cart and block your body off so he can't just walk up on you. Something told me he wasn't dumb because he didn't like the fact that he couldn't persuade me or persuade her, and then she was sitting over somewhere, so they thought I was in there by myself. She was like down some in the same aisle as me, but she was down some, so it didn't look like we was together. It just looked like I was by myself. And so when she turned around and said, she walked up on him, right? She OG, old school. She like in her late 50s. She like, and she heavy, said big bone. She like, well, what the fuck going on? What's up with you? What's up with you with your weird, right? Like type stuff. She like, this my guy, baby. I don't know what you want, but we ain't doing that tonight and no other night. Get out our face. Get out her face. Told him just like that. Walked up on him. And he was so mad that she approached him on that type of time that I knew he wasn't going to stop. Something said, put the cart in between you. It's like almost 12 o'clock at night. It was like 11 something. So I took and placed my cart while I'm digging, because you know you reach your hand up in the freezer. I took the cart and blocked me off so he couldn't walk up. And guess what? Lo and behold, I'm reaching my body up, got my purse wrapped around my arm, holding onto the cart, and I reached my arm up to grab what I was grabbing, and he hit that corner and came down the aisleway and tried to walk up. You seen my wife? You seen my wife? You seen my wife? I said, I ain't seen your wife, man. Why would I see your wife? No, I didn't see her. So last time I seen her, she was all the way over there. Yep, she all the way over there. Go that way. Do you know he stand out that aisleway? He was after me, but he was so inferior. He came. He was so inferior. He was after me, but he was so inferior to the fact that she checked him. He was after me, but he couldn't let it go that she had checked him, right? So once he turned around and seen her, he completely disregarded me. And then he holding the phone, acting like he on the phone the whole time. And I knew he wasn't talking to nobody because he's so stupid. He acting like he on speaker. But he got the phone away from him and nobody's answering him back while he's so-called talking. Then he's talking like, yeah, I'm just looking for my wife and she done ran off, right? But he really ain't saying nothing. And I'm like, he got the phone down, not to his ear, so that means that somebody would be on speaker, but ain't nobody answering you back, bruh. Like, your behavior ain't matching up, right? He's so inferior to that she checked him. As soon as he looked up and tried to come around and say something to me, he completely disregarded me once he seen her and his demon went bucking, right? And so once he seen her down at the end, he just started walking away and went towards her. And so while he was so distracted on her, I hit the corner to go get one of the ladies who was the manager. I said, hey, how you doing? I said, is you a Walmart employee? She said, I'm the manager. And I told her what was going on. And she went around and was talking to the floor worker, but at the time I didn't know he was a floor walker, and I went on ahead and kept it moving. So she tried to play it off, right? Like she didn't hear what the fuck I was saying and tried to like laugh it off, like, girl, it be weird stuff, like that, right? Right? So I said, well, since you ain't gonna do nothing about it, I said, it's a big black dude up there in the front, right? Hood nigga. I said, working at Walmart. I said, I'm gonna go get him to walk me out. I'm gonna go get Big Back Billy to walk me out of here, because I bet you he do, right? Walk me in her, because I don't know what these people want to hear. But do you know when I looked up, when God said, look up, do you know when I looked up, everybody in there was dirty and like Nobody looked like they was supposed to be in here. Like nobody was actually shopping. It looked like it was the playground for breeding, of snatching, and this ring of shit. What I picked up on is what the fuck I picked up on. Once I seen that, I was honed into him, and God said, look up, open your eyes up. Boy, when I tell you what I seen, I wasn't just, and he ain't supposed to be with her. That's the wrong. And another thing that I noticed is that all the men had on hoodies, and all their hoodies was filthy. The guy who walked up to me, his hood was filthy. He had on a hoodie, his hoodie was filthy. They hoodies, all of them had on hoodies, all the men had on hoodies, and they was filthy, and all the women that they was with looked slow. Like something was wrong with them mentally. All the women they was with looked like they was zoned out. And I was like, what the hell am I looking at? The floor walker, when he came to me, he said, who was they to each other? For one, you saying that, but it's something else going on. So I said, they said it was husband and wife. He said, yeah, something like that in here happened yesterday. He said, and I had to take 2 girls home because he said that he had to take 2 young girls home because they started feeling uncomfortable. And it was a young kid young teenager that approached the 2 girls, and that it was a woman walked up with a hijiji on, a hijibijib, like them 2 men down at the store, like the hijibijibs. I call them hijibijibs, the things that go around their head, like Mary J. Blige when she be putting those sunglasses on. She had a hijibijib wrapped around her head. Them hijibijibs. He said she had on one of those things, and so, he said that they was supposed to have been like auntie and nephew or something like that, and the 2 girls were scared. He said he ended up taking them home. No, y'all involved too, and the people that's catching on, y'all just scurrying them on out like, it's cool. But for the people who ain't catching on and y'all just walking around, they trying it, they following y'all home, they doing all this weird stuff. Do you know, after I got home, I was on the phone with somebody, and about 10 minutes before I got on here, something blew up on the side of my house. Why? And I looked out. I got cameras. I looked on the side there. I don't see no neighbors out. So that means that somebody went on the side of my house thinking they trying to scare me, trying to build this thing. I don't fear. I don't walk in fear. Trying to build up this fear, like, oh my God, they after me. Who? You ain't after me. God put me on assignment. We after you. Excuse me? They better stop playing. They don't even understand. Y'all, I just started back working. They don't even understand that come here soon, I'm going to the range, because when I blow, I ain't missing. I don't want to miss. I don't want to fire that won't. I'm not missing. You understand me? And I'm not going to be one of them people walking around showing off anything. I don't show off nothing, because I want you to come up over here playing like that. I'm knocking your life straight. You going to meet your maker, the principality who sent you. You going to the blow your bubble section. You got to go. You got to have a do-over. You got to have a do-over. Y'all stop playing with me. Watch y'all kids. Stop letting y'all kids go in places, in spaces that they ain't got, that they, look. As a grown adult, even the men, y'all, because I believe that even though they sent my color in to attract me, so I would not have my guards up. You understand? Dude had dreads. It was with his wife. She looked at decent, right? She wasn't filthy. She looked at decent, and they was husband and wife. And you wouldn't have thought nothing of nothing. They willing them in with your own people, so you can put your guard down. They willing them in with other people, so you won't with your own kind. Because who would think that a hood dude with dreads, that you gotta have your guards up with that? You would just think that this person having a regular conversation and asking you something. Yo, I had a tightening in the back of my head. God said, get up and look at your cameras. I had a tightening in the back of my head because I just seen the shadow back there. But anyways, I'm not playing. You got to understand, I don't care how many times they broke in while I was gone. Woo, 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 woo. That's all I'm going to say. I know the spaces in between spaces before you do. I will be like what do you say? I had a set of skills, and I am going to use them. I have a set of skills called the Most High God. And when your heart get the pumping and thumping enough, you will find yourself doing some supernatural things, like climbing up the wall like a spider and hanging onto the ceiling so you can jump. Y'all, throughout the week, I had a vision of that movie Belly. But the part on the movie that I had a vision of was, remember when those two girls came from out the top of there and jumped down with their little outfits on with that? That's what I seen in the vision. Ooh, I got chills. God said assassin style. That's how I'm about to have you. You understand me? Assassin. That's what I had a vision. I said, why am I got a vision of them two women jumping off the top of there? Be on the feeling saying, waiting for them to come down. Be done landed, and I ain't missing. That's all I'm going to say. Don't come around these parts with that. I don't want none. Don't come up around here. And this is a small city where I'm from. Stuff like that really don't happen here. And for them to be coming in like that, something going on. Something going on. You ain't no. And what's even crazier is like not even a minute before that person rode around like that and it was that bold, the police had just passed. A police car had just passed. Something ain't right. And so when that police car had just passed, that person had to see the police right in front of them. So you bold as hell. You bold as hell. Somebody gonna probably say something. Oh, they probably thought you was a prostitute. That man didn't think I was no prostitute. That man ain't think I was no damn prostitute. That man thought he was gonna snatch and he had the principalities in his eyes. And for a person to say something like that, they're a hater as well, and they're involved. And they think they're gonna have you in the ring. I'm gonna have you in the ring. You be surprised why God allow you to go left and right. People be thinking that they gonna have you doing this and that. Let me wheel you on in while they poisoning your drinks, and they wonder why it ain't taken. Why the poison ain't out there telling them, I'm telling y'all, I poisoned her yesterday. She still wake up every day. They trying to be careful of people coming into your life, and they looking for women who probably got no kids to maybe one kid. That's the look. You got one kid but no kids, right? This is who they looking for. People who they feel like, and they study their victims. They not just coming up on you. They studying their victims. People who they think ain't got no family are people who out here destroying that one family member. They thinking that you're going to be the sacrifice, but they don't know that the assignment is you. They making the assignment you, and God has made the assignment you. They thinking that they just crossed your path and that you just some little weakling. God just made you like this, sugar and spice and everything nice. God ain't make this blood the way he made it. They gonna see some wings come out my back. They keep playing. They think they the devil until horns grow out your head. And fangs come out. You scare a person enough and jump out the bush and say a boogie woogie woogie, you better stop playing before you see somebody turn into something. I ain't RH negative and in my DNA for nothing. Keep on playing, you gonna activate something, you hear? Y'all have a good one. I gotta go. Because I'm not playing like that. With these niggas, these cats, these bitches, and these dogs. Be careful who you allowing in your life. Be careful who coming to move around you. Because all of them involved. Period. And I'm going to say this as well before I go ahead and finish this up. Because I was going to stop. But let me tell y'all something. Last weekend, an individual's child was sitting on this couch with me. Something told me to record, right? And normally I don't do this. I just be in my own world. Do you know I sit on this couch and every night I look at that camera and I see somebody circling this house, different cars every night, slowing down at my house. And it made me just think of it because as I'm sitting here, I see a car slow down right by the house. Last week, 2 men went in the backyard. In my backyard where I'm staying at, and there's somebody in here. Somebody in here with me. And so this person says to me, oh, because I stay up late. And I feel like the person wouldn't have said nothing, but they had to say something because they know I stay up so late that they didn't know if I seen them or not. So the person came and they said, oh, did you see the 2 people that went in our backyard? And I said, so you mean to tell me? And when they put up the camera and showed me these two men, two grown-ass men going in the backyard, they did it to make me not think that they was involved. Stupid. Me and my dad was saying this today about how people tell on themselves. Like, he was explaining something else to me, and he said that somebody had said something to me and they had told on themselves when it came to something, right? And it was something minute, but it's crazy, and I'm going to take this on a grander scale, that when people do things and they're paranoid in their actions, they don't know that they saying stuff and they telling on themselves. And the person put up the camera and they said, these two people, that was somebody that used to worked on my floors, but I had stopped them from working on my floors because they was doing a shitty job. And so I said, so you mean to tell me that these two grown-ass men walked past your car while you here with your car in the driveway and walked up in your backyard, looking over in your backyard, opened up your gate to your home and was walking around in your backyard, and you mean to tell me you don't know them and you ain't got nothing to do with them, and they just was that bold to do something like that? This person was looking me dead in my face. Yeah, I didn't know who them. I know him. The other guy I didn't know, but why would they be? But this person was trying to sell that type of scenario so I wouldn't think that they had nothing to do with it. Mind you, this individual daughter came here she was only 10 years old at the time. She just turned 11 this week. She said she was so scared. She said, oh my God. Normally she go to sleep early, but this time she sat on the couch with me and we were just talking about different things, and I'm schooling her about life, and she getting old enough, she haven't started her menstrual yet, and so she about to be starting her menstrual, right? This is a little black girl, and this person adopted this child and through somebody that they was with, right? They was with this person. They was with the mother, and the mother was so-called outdoing her, and so they end up taking them in because they helped to raise her. And the girl said she kept looking up at the camera, and she said, Mom, I'm scared. And I said, what you scared of? What you talking about? She always called me Mom. And so she'd say, you don't see that? And I said, see what? She said, different cars keep slowing down at the house. She said, look at the camera. She said, all the cars that roll past here, they slow down and then they pull off. They slow down and then they pull off. She said, look. She said, look at the cars, slows down and they pull off. This is at night. Y'all, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We sitting here looking dead at the cameras. All in the morning, throughout the morning, different cars pulling up and pulling off, pulling up and pulling off, pulling up and pulling off, right? And she said, what is that? What is that? They doing it now. They slow down. They either slow down and drive real slow past the house, or they will pull up just past the cameras and they will pull off, right? And so she said that something ain't right. Something ain't right. This is a 10-year-old saying this. Something ain't right. Something ain't right, Mom. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. And I said, we all right. They doing it again. They slow down all the way down. This is a very busy street. There's no reason to slow down on this street. There's not a light right here, right? It's a light some up some, but the light don't stay still enough for people to really bag up unless it's like for anybody to be slowing down, unless like the school, because there's a school back of me that's going on, right? And so we not in the school season. School is out because of the summer break. And it's nighttime. It's no reason that nobody should be either slowing down enough to be treading like that, or they didn't choose me out of a million people to do this to. They feeling like, oh, it's single, let's cost her job, let's do this, let's do that, so she could be completely codependent, so when she go missing, her family won't report it, won't nobody around her report these things. But trust me, ain't nobody pick me out of a batch to play with. It's the person that be sitting right in your face that's doing these things, that's scheduling these things and assigning these things, right? And you got to understand that person has got to be in some nefarious things. And so I said, God, well, why come this way? And when I look back on my circumstances, on how everybody around me was trying to get me to lose my house, get me to lose my car, different things, it wasn't making, because I said, what the hell is going on? Well, everybody around me is causing me these problems. They thought I was going to be the sacrifice. They didn't know that I got sit here for this. You got to understand something. You don't walk in fear. Well, since y'all made it my business, you understand, since you made it my business, okay, God, what do we need to do? I got chills on my arm. What is it that you brought me here for? You didn't put me in here in this time, place, and space to be like that. You didn't do that. God played you in places and spaces. Since they made you the target, I'm going to use you. I'm going to tell you another thing. For you to be sitting in the house with somebody and you voicing your concerns about what you seeing, people messing with your car all on the side of the house, and the person seeing the same thing as you and sitting in your face telling you that's not what's happening. Everybody don't see this. Then they get on your platform, mess with your platform, so your algorithm of your videos can get out here, and you might be posting about something else, but they so scared that you gonna speak on what they're doing to you that they don't want your videos getting out there to tell people what's going on with you. And so we're going to lie about your mental health. We're going to lie about all these different things on you, so when you go to speak, nobody hears you because we done lied so bad on you and who you are as an individual. We're going to make it look like you the most paranoidest person in the planet. We're going to make it look like you just be coming up with stuff. And then we're going to deliberately provoke you so we can get a response, and we can record the response. And then we're going to switch it up in a way to make it look like you're having a mental breakdown and we're just here to help you. This is what these people are doing. Understand that they don't just target you for a day or two. You have been a target for years. But since they made me the assignment and they put me in the business when I was minding my own, God said that they was deliberately trying to cost you everything to force you in the situation. So when anything go down, nobody would ever look for you. So, and I know it was a person in my family who was drawing these conclusions of bullshit and throwing this stuff out there, and I found out through somebody who ran into me, and we had a real good conversation, and this person said, that's crazy, like somebody said this and that about you. And so I never really called and checked because I thought maybe, and I said, huh? And when I left from talking to that person said to me, I kept saying, why would somebody go and say something like that about my mental health and all this stuff? Why would somebody say something like that? And so now that we're here, it makes sense. Oh, okay. This is why they were saying that. This is why they was doing that. They have to draw up the conclusions well before. So when you become the town sacrifice, nobody think nothing because you was just the one that was crazy. You was the one that couldn't keep a job when they were the ones going behind the scene costing your job. You couldn't keep a house even though you've been on your own since you've been 16 years old and been having a house and holding everything down by yourself. They was doing all this stuff. No, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. And I noticed that every time I would walk out the house, when this person felt like, oh, okay, is it about to happen now? They would hurry and hang up. And I kept saying, why would the person keep hanging up when they hear I'm out the house? This ain't make, what the hell? I just thought maybe they was doing something else on the phone. No, they was hanging up because they knew what was going on. They know the scenario because they know the assignment because they took the deal to turn the other cheek when it go down. Oh, yeah. And so I just want to say, by the way, that God is good. And so people sitting in your face trying to keep you distracted from what's going on. And God will send an innocent in to let you know that what you're seeing is real. God used this baby to tell me that what I seen, I wasn't tripping. I never said nothing to her. She don't stay here. She come every blue moon. She don't stay here. And so for her to come in this house and be sitting down on a video game or messing with the phone, minding her business, and I kept seeing her look up. She kept looking up like this, looking up at the camera. She kept looking up. And I'm like, I never said nothing. I just looked at her. And she finally said, I'm scared. And I said, scared? What you scared for? She said, you don't see that? I said, see, what do you see? Tell me what you see. She said, somebody keep running past the house, Ma. Somebody keep riding past the house. They slowing down cars. It's different cars. They slowing down. God let the truth come out through that baby. And what I kept telling this person, I kept seeing what I was seeing. Person sitting in my face gaslight me, telling me that's not what's happening. No, that's not what. Grown men walking in the backyard right past your car. So you're involved as well. That's all I'm going to say. And so, y'all stay tuned because I'm not playing these games. I'm not doing it. You ain't going to sit up in my face and play with me and everybody turning the cheek thinking it's a game. All right, let's see. Let's play then. Y'all, I was seeing so much different stuff. So much different stuff. And the stuff, y'all, if I begin to tell y'all the start to the finish and to where I ended up at in this game, that they felt like we playing chess. Checkers, not chess. Trying to move me around, trying to stop this and cut this off to force me to have to go this way, and trying to cut this off to try to force me to go this way. They're trying to cut off different ways to stop the movement so I can only be forced to go this way. But whatever it is that they think they doing, it's not going to work out in the way that they think it's about to work out. To cut off that way, stop that, cause problems over here. And there's so many people involved in this thing and doing this to me. And they've been doing it. They even got to the point where they had my child involved. And the people that I'm mentioning to, if the one person that I was mentioning this to is been trying to cut me off in conversation to stop me from talking. To stop me from saying what it is that I see. With the two people. That was the person I was in the house with and another person I was on the phone with. Keep trying to cut me off from saying what it is that I see. Something that's not right with that. They're going and messing with the phone, messing with my phone. They messing with this, messing with that. Stopping different jobs from contacting me. They trying to cut off things to force me this way, to force me left, to force me right. Well, let's see who win in the game of checkers and chess. My left ear is ringing. Let's see who win in this game of checkers and chess. And they was never expecting for me to find out what they was doing. You got to understand that. Stay woke. Cause creeping. Hey, they gon' find what unconscious sleeping. Ooh, now stay woke. What? Cause niggas creeping. Y'all, they gon' find you unconscious sleeping. Ooh, now stay woke. Stay woke out here. Let's see. Let's see. It's play ball. And that's all I'm going to say. Play ball.